starting off with Alabama losing big to Oklahoma. Now a three-loss team. You look at the ratings now, and they're like number 13. It's like there's some kind of conspiracy to put them just on the cusp of 12 because they know someone has to lose in that top 11 and it's going to put them down there. They're at 13 right now, but if someone loses, they just got to move to number 12 and they'll be eligible.
Yeah, that's bogus.
Absolutely.
I mean, 3 losses and an unranked Oklahoma team. I know Feinbaum's probably saying, "Look, it's Oklahoma. They have talent. They have this. They have that." No, you are what your record says you are. You know, 3 losses and what they scored 3 points.
3 points.
3 points. Come on, if that's playoff worthy, they should just cancel the playoffs.
And newsflash, things that should have been seen earlier this season, but you gave it a little bit of a chance to kind of play itself out. Jalen Moreau is not a first round quarterback. Carson Beck, damn sure, isn't a first round quarterback. In fact, the last time I saw it, it
No.
looks like he might be a third round quarterback. And I think that might be pushing it based on the way he's played so far. Having that Georgia team around him, if Stetson Bennett was there, we'll be talking about another 3 championships in the last 4 years. If Stetson Bennett was there, someone who didn't have the measurables, someone who didn't allegedly have the talent, but he had the moxie and was able to win when he was there. Georgia, wins, but Alabama losing the way they have lost to Oklahoma. Paul Feinbaum, a New Yorker who went to Tennessee, now he's doing not now, he's been doing it for a while, but an SEC shield nonetheless. And he's just making every rhyme or reason or excuse for Alabama to get a chance they should not have. 3 losses this season, 2 to unranked teams. Vanderbilt beat them, they were unranked. And now you have Oklahoma beating them in one of Oklahoma's worst seasons of the past 10, 15 years,
Right.
unranked, and they beat them.
Yeah, and it's not like there was a freak, ball bounces off a guy's helmet into the receiver's
Methodical
hands.
beating.
Yeah, they got beat down. They only scored 3 points. And if I'm a Bama fan, I'm really disappointed because Milroe looked good early in the season, and you got to be scratching your head. What happened to that offense?
Too bad there's more to the season than just the 2, 3, 4 games and games against Mercer, which could not have prepared them for a team like this. It's I don't
Yeah,
know.
but Georgia, look what they did to Georgia. They were going up and down the field
And
on the
that's true.
Bulldogs.
And they did. But we also see that it looks like Georgia isn't exactly what we thought they would be. But I think it's more because of Carson Beck. I don't think like with Alabama, it's the running game. It's Jalen Moreau. It's a lot other than Ryan Williams. There's a lot wrong with that offense. The offense is still giving up sacks like last season. You have these huge, like Caden Proctor at your offensive tackle at 360 pounds and 6'9", and still can't really move that well to keep pass rushers off the quarterback. It's just that Alabama is just not it this year. And you're trying to pinpoint it. Is it a DeBoer issue because he's the new offensive guy, the new head coach? Well, if you're not scoring any points, that falls right on the offense. But defensively, I don't know what's to be said about that.
Yeah, I'm 24 points in college though. That's not a bad day on the defense. It's not like they got steamrolled 52-3 or 49-3.
Hmm.
Then you can say it was all bad. But giving up 24 points to Oklahoma, you would think Alabama would still win that game. Probably
But this is a
31.
terrible Oklahoma team.
I
If
know,
you
I'm just saying, but you would think the offense would perform better.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Exactly. The offense would perform better, even though it's in Norman, it's not in Tuscaloosa.
Or,
Oklahoma's that bad this year. They should lose in Norman just like that as well. They've
or
lost to
it could
teams
be that
already.
the defense got tired. If the offense isn't moving the ball, they're spending a lot of time on the field. I don't know what time of possession is, but I've seen
34
a lot of
minutes.
I've seen
Oklahoma
a
had the
lot
ball
of
34 minutes. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Bears games where the defense is on the field all day and come to fourth quarter, they can't stop the offense anymore.
And then Oklahoma, though, running 257 yards on the ground. That is just not Alabama-esque. If Alabama doesn't have anything, they have people who can stop the run. If you're going to beat Alabama and blow them out, like this is essentially a blowout, you're talking about a passing game that probably was used going down the field a lot faster, getting and with the ball being possessed as long as it had 34 plus minutes. That running game was the reason why, and Alabama could not stop that running game. A lot of when they played South Carolina, they could not stop the running game. It's just this in 1 year's time. This is a completely different Alabama team. I don't want to completely say the Nick Saban effect, because there were defections from that team as well. Players going to different schools. They didn't want to play under the new coach, and these were Nick Saban disciples, moving on and so forth. So, all in all, Alabama does not deserve an opportunity to be in this playoff system. And with 3 losses, that should conclude every aspiration they have. But because of them being at number 13, someone's going to lose in the top 12 in front of them, and they'll slide right in. All they have to do, though, is beat Auburn, and that is not a guarantee in the Iron Bowl coming up this Saturday.
Yeah, I I'm just of the opinion if a team has 3 losses,
It doesn't make sense.
they should not be anywhere near the playoffs.
Nope.
Because I would imagine that there's teams with 2 losses. Some may even have 1 loss that's going to be below Alabama, and that makes no sense. I don't care what their history is. I don't care how many championships they have in the past. I don't care what they were ranked coming into the season. If they have 2 losses against unranked teams and another team below them has 1 loss, maybe to a ranked team, how do you justify that?
Well, this might be getting a little way too far and a bit absurd, but Army, a one-loss team, just got that 1 loss against Notre Dame this past weekend, and they're a one-loss team that's in the top 25. They won't even get a sniff because of their previous schedule, of course. Won't even get a sniff, but Alabama with 3 losses is still within contention. That's just that's it. I'm wondering if it's more a money thing now. I thought the playoffs were supposed to prevent it being about the money, taking the money team, but it looks like it may fall to being the money team again. There would be some outrage, and you would think they would be a little bit more cognizant now, based on what happened last year with Florida State having no losses and still being kept out, even though it
Right.
was narrower with just 4 teams back then.
Yeah, I would understand if they lost to Georgia and they lost to Texas and they lost to Tennessee, all ranked teams. But that's not the case.
Nope.
So Alabama does not deserve it. And you mentioned defections last year. I'm interested to see if there are more defections this year.
Yeah, I'm wondering even more defections from this present team or even defections from these committed recruits,
Right.
because you know how the things continue to go like that. These recruits, these fickle recruits of today, they get a second thought because a friend of theirs just told them something, and now they're no longer interested in the school. And then they get a little bit of proof on television for a game they thought a team should have won, and now they're changing their mind. You can look at what Julian Lewis changed from USC. Now he decided he want to go to another school now, so he's going to another school as well. So, and that was just last week. Well, a week and a half ago, he chose to just turn USC down, and this was supposed to have been Lincoln Riley's top player coming in.
Yeah. Recruiting has changed. It's not your father's recruiting anymore.
No, it isn't. No
Um,
recruiting. This is free agency.
it's crazy. I mean, my quarterback at Nebraska, he was committed to Ohio State and then Georgia.
Yeah,
How do you get these guys to honor their commitments? There's
these
nothing
verbals
saying
are just the verbals
right.
are just like
There's
that.
nothing saying they have to until they sign on the dotted line. And
Exactly.
then even after that, there's the transfer portal. They get on campus and they're not happy, or it's not going how they expected. People put their name in the transfer portal. So it's just a totally different ball game nowadays.
Yep, and Jaden Rashada was another one of those players who did the same thing. He went from Miami to Florida to Arizona State. Now he's on Georgia's roster. So we're talking about all of these teams in such a short period of time, and he hasn't really done anything. He got some playing time at Arizona State, but they aren't a premier team. Now he's on Georgia. I don't know what's going to happen next season, if he's going to even stay there, or is he going to just wait his turn and try to compete and get the job in the spring. I don't know what's going on there because, of course, Carson Beck is gone, and rightfully so. And after the way he's been playing this season, I'm surprised we haven't seen Jaden Rashada by now. He's just been a terrible quarterback. There's just no way around it. But Auburn came from behind at home and beat Texas A&M. That's why I'm thinking on Saturday. I know all about this Iron Bowl, and I still think I know a lot of people in the Midwest think that Ohio State and Michigan is the best rivalry, and there's certainly a case to be made. But I've seen the Iron
Mm.
Bowl, and I've been around that Iron Bowl. And you know what? I haven't been around the Michigan Ohio State game in person, but I've been around the Iron Bowl, and the passion for the Iron Bowl is on another level. Just man, you're talking about family members getting their lives threatened over this game. It's craziness. I'm serious. I'm like, man, what's going on here? But Auburn, I go back to every time the year Alabama probably had one of their best defenses ever before at least the Nick Saban era when they had Gene Stallings as their coach. They won the championship in 1992 against Miami, just absolutely blew them out in the Sugar Bowl. That defense was so ridiculous, but that 5-5-1 Auburn team only lost 17 to nothing when they played one another. Just 17 to nothing. And Pat Dye's last game. So that just kind of lets you know that even though they were severely overmatched, and this was an absolutely dominant Alabama team, they just couldn't do what they done against other teams that were supposedly a lot tougher. So this Auburn game again, and we've seen Auburn upset them before in recent history with
Right.
the kick, with the missed field goal, all that type of stuff. So I would not be surprised. But this should, if it did happen, now you have Auburn players guaranteeing to win. Okay, yeah, right. But you know what? They've won before, so it's not out of the realm of possibility. And because of the rivalry, it may just lead to something that dramatic. But
What what's Auburn's record?
right now, shoot, they just won a game against Texas A&M. So let me see. They're 5-6.
So
Just 5-6.
if they beat Bama, Alabama shouldn't be ranked.
They shouldn't. Alabama shouldn't be 13 right now. But if they lose this game, at least that definitely puts a nail in the coffin of them deciding of people wanting them to beat. Come
You
on,
would
man.
think.
4 losses.
Yeah.
There's no way. No way. And losing to Auburn,
I
an
mean,
unranked team that's
it's
below
like they're
500.
Alabama's like the Michael Myers or the Jason
They keep
Voorhees
coming
of
back. You
college
can't get
football.
rid of their asses.
You can't kill them.
They can't kill them, and they keep coming back. And their fans, as entitled as they are, act like they belong. I have a friend of mine who's a huge Alabama fan. And he's like, "We belong. You belong." The only thing I sent him on Saturday night was eyeballs. That was it. I sent him my eyeball emoji, like, "Bruh, come on." No, well, we still gonna get in. You just saw what you saw, right? Get out of here with that.